Three, two, one, and we are live. Well, we're not live. It's a VOD, but welcome in. I am just doing a little recording voice over this intro part that I had actually previously recorded a voiceover while I was recording, but I've kind of changed this video into two videos. So I, let's say I go off on a tangent and we talk about Pez and the potential of owning apartments and the scope of Star Citizen and everything that's going to be coming to the game. We go into detail of what persistent entity streaming is and all that kind of stuff. So this is just a little intro. That's what I'm going to talk about in this video and highlight some of that. And at the end of this section where I kind of talk about, this is just on Horizon and talking about Pez, we then will go into some teaser footage of Salvage gameplay, and then my next video will be just solely focused on Salvage gameplay, just to keep things nice and simple. Hope you enjoyed the video though, and I'm going to pass you over to my past self now. Basically, yeah, we're going to be covering that, just going over the new vehicle, the new Vulture, and then using that and checking it out basically, and checking some other features out, some persistence hopefully we'll experience with some ships that are like being left there by players. If you're not sure what persistent entity streaming is, which is shortened for Pez, basically means if I'm in this apartment, this is now my apartment, like look, someone's left their medical gown here, it's stayed there permanently. Normally that would be cleared out straight away. You'd never see stuff like that in these apartments you spawn in at. These are like temporary accommodation, but in the future they will be permanent. Just to cover that, by the way, with permanent ones, you've got all these things that you can open up, all these drawers, and if you stored stuff in here, food, gear, you've got ammo and weapons here, a little weapons slot, and you can put your helmet up here and stuff like that. You'd be able to place it here. You've got like fridges and stuff. Got another fridge here you can store food in. If this is the apartment you owned, which eventually you'll be able to own your own apartment and building, all this stuff would stay there permanently. You'd come into your apartment and all your gear would be here. Only you'd be able to access a door. And obviously in the future when they have areas that for instance base building and stuff, I'm sure they're going to add and announce in the game, they're going to be potentially be able to get stolen. But I think like while you're in like an armistice zone with like, which I don't know if they're going to keep permanently, it's a bit blurred here, but I think that's just the LOD level of detail over distance, and obviously it would be blurry if you haven't got the best eyesight from a distance. And then but we'll see what that looks like when I go outside. But yeah, you'll be able to build bases and stuff, and whether that can get raided in the future, that's to be seen. But I imagine these would be nice and secure, and that you wouldn't risk losing any gear if you stored it in like an apartment in a main city. But when you start building on moons and stuff, that might be when you get problems. But like the level of detail in this game, this is just one apartment of many. Like I could have like 10 other apartments below me and beside me that other players could be spawning in at, or living in at that point. And they could be just doing chores and stuff, tidying up their apartment, storing items away. You've got your like coffee beans and stuff here, and you can have a coffee machine you can make that on as well. And you can just see like the level of detail here. I haven't even got my settings cranked to high. I'm on a 3070, by the way, not even a TI, so a 3070 graphics card, which is a semi-decent graphics card. But now the 4000 series cards and the TIs have come out, then it's not the top of the range one. Which is some of the detail here, like these leaves and plants. And this is just a small little area within a small apartment, within a large building, but on a massive planet. And that's one planet of 4 that in this local area, which will be moons, shall we say, not planets, moons. So in this area you've got 3 other moons in that, and we're only on this small like I say small planet. This is Crusader, I think, is the larger one. It's a gas giant that we're on. So we're here, and then you've got your 3 other moons here. So you've got Daymar, which I've done the rally on. It's great that the actual planet's not loading in. We love to see that. Might be a known bug right now. They are working on the star map, but as you can see, there's a lot of depth, and that's just on one planet of the system. Has got all these moons rotating it that you can go on, and the moons are pretty decent size. And you've got all these other ones. So you've got Hurston over here, and that's got it's got 4 moons, so even more. And you've got all the starting planets here as well. So ArcCorp Area 18 is the main city there. Crusader and Orison were on, and then Hurston and Microtech, which is New Babbage, which is the winter planet that you might have seen me on with some of the videos. But yeah, I digress. I'm just going into detail too much, and if I'd done that every single video I'd done on Star Citizen, we would be there all day. So we're in this apartment. As I said, you'll be able to potentially own one of these in the future. Well, I say potentially, we are going to be able to. And just like you can see some of this detail now, we're at the apartment here. It's just crazy. Like it's a beautiful place, and we're on a balcony here. Technically, as well, this is not like instanced as well, which is another thing to kind of wrap your head around of like the scope of this. There's no load screens. If someone now flew down and just parked outside here, I'd be able to jump off this balcony and jump on their ship and just fly off. It's not like I have to go down to the lobby and then it will spawn in players for the rest of the map. If there was a player down here, I'd be able to see them running around wherever they are, and like it's not all separated. Obviously there is there's caps on how many players can be in the server, but that's been increased well over 100 now. And that's only going to grow. And then with server meshing, they're going to mesh servers of hundreds of players in each server together, and then potentially be able to have, like, you know, in the future, thousands of players in the same, even in the same system, let alone in the same universe. Because you're gonna, this is just one. Look at that. That's a player flying that around. I think that is your. It's a Ares. I think that's a spaceport over there. Excuse me. I come out of nowhere. But yeah, yeah, you'll just get random interactions like that, which is awesome. And then you'll have like apartments like here. The way, if you think, how is the game going to render your apartment inside the building while people flying past? If there was like 10 apartments and a plane flies past, it's got to render all the buildings in, the players in within the building, and the outside of the building, like, your game's going to crash. So what they've done is quite an intelligent thing of, while you're flying out, you're going to have like a fixed image. It's a flat image, but it's quite clever. Whereas if I move left and right now, then it will change perspective in it, but it's not actually telling me what's inside that apartment. Now, if you got right up to the window, then it might then like make it load in that player. If he's walking around in his apartment, you'll be able to see through his window. But when you're just flying by and you're a ship just like casually, this is a taxi up here, just cruising by, it's not going to load in their apartment, all their textures and stuff, and cause extra load on your PC and affect your frames. So it's really intelligent, where it will still look like the apartment, and you'll be like, oh, it looks like someone lives there, and you can fly up to it, then it will load it in once you get closer, like they say, level of detail. So even though this looks decent detail from here, this apartment, if I got even closer to it, it would look like this, where you can see every like level, like markings and stuff like that, and gutters, and like as you get closer, there's different scalable loads of graphical detail, shall we say. Hopefully I'm explaining this well enough. But yeah, it's all relative to maybe your spec as well, and your settings within the game, how much that would load in on it, on like each phase you go in, and it should seem seamless. So as you're flying in, you're not going to see, oh, bang, it loads. You might see in some games where now this looks like some of the floor has not loaded. These are all floating platforms above a gas giant, so this is meant to be like this, by the way. It's not like oh, where's the ground, it's not loaded in. That's what it would be like in other games. Like if there was a building in the far distance, you wouldn't be able to see the rest of the building, and then when you scroll, you get closer, then the building loads in. You can see as far as these platforms go on for. You can see them in the distance here. They're just not as much detailed in. Like the human eye is not going to be able to see that anyway in real life. So as you get closer, it's going to become more and more detailed. So you can see obviously this detail compared to this building, and compared to how much more detailed this building is. So that's like the stages of level of detail. And with the persistence as well, everyone's going to stay there. So someone's in someone's lobby in this building, they've dropped like 10 cans of drink, and then they've moved on to they've flown off on the planet, that they all stay there, and then you can come along half an hour later and see it all there. There is going to be a level where, oh, what if every single player did that lived in that building, and there's a building of 20 apartments or something, there's got to be tons of drinks or debris, whether it was hospital gowns like in my apartment or anything, and it built up in the lobby area. Then what happens if every single player did that? The game would like struggle to load every single texture. Yes, they would. So they are going to be like, they've got an intelligent kind of algorithm which will work out, oh, you know, you've got 20 empty cans of drink, we're going to delete some so the server doesn't overload, and that will be like the oldest one first. To say that player that left half an hour ago had left like 10 bottles of drink, but then everyone else since then had done the same, all of his 10 will get deleted first, and then so it kind of won't interrupt that kind of immersion in the game as much. You won't really notice it, especially if it's like the drinks at the bottom of a pile, maybe. And the same with depending on what kind of item it is. So I'm saying like drinks and rubbish because they're not really high priority. If you've got like 10 vehicles, they'll probably stay there, but like maybe the 11th vehicle will cause the first vehicle to get deleted in that area, if it's been left there, if someone's logged out in a certain area. So it's all down to what is prioritized within the server. So you're not going to eventually over time have, if no one ever cleared the rubbish up, like litter everywhere. But people's immersion, there has been people picking up rubbish and putting it in some of the bins. Like, let's go back here and see if it is, because I think I've seen a player or so flying around and stuff and in the game. So you've got Leroy's here. So you'd have bottles here if someone bought drinks. And I say this now, it's not going to happen, but you'd potentially see a couple of bottles just left on the side. Eventually, I'm sure they'll do behaviors of these characters, these AI, just cleaning up after us. You've got a hospital gown here, I imagine. It's a medical gown. But you'll have like rubbish bins and stuff like that, and people will be able to put it in there. There's not actually any in here. In all the other starting ports, especially in like the more basic ports, less posh areas like this, it's definitely more how can I say it? A bit more industrial and a bit more dirtier, I would say. And there's a lot of bins around to tidy up and stuff. But beautiful looking game. Anyway, I digress. I've gone over PES, covered that, and covered the future of like owning apartments and stuff as well, which would be really cool. This massive ship flying by. And we're going to go grab our Vulture and go find some salvage to end the video out. But anyway, I'll catch you at the end of the video when we see out that salvage gameplay, and I'll put some of the content in of me using some pretty cool ships in the meantime, and trying to find some salvage, and also trying to get some ships inside each other that didn't work well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll try and trim it down and make it as concise as possible, and I appreciate any feedback below in the comments, and remember to subscribe. But we'll cover all that at the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and enjoy. To the medical facilities. So this is the Drake Vulture. Kind of skirting around that to start off with. It's a very cool looking ship, very industrial looking. I don't know if I'm going to turn my contrast up. It's not super bright yellow, but I do think some of the videos or pictures I've seen has probably had a play around with the colouring and contrast and vibrancy. But we'll have a look from the back, and then I think that's a dock there, docking collar, or just where you can pop out at, or is that part of the ship design? We'll work that out in a minute. Your main engines. I've flown this in the Arena Commander. Here we are. So this is where all your salvage crates, your I forgot the name of it now. It's going to be recycled material composites, so RMC boxes, and they'll be like a traditional square box. I forgot what size SCU they are. They're like the size of boxes are measured in SCU. So obviously, like the big cargo containers, like in real life, like they're going to be a certain size one, and they'll be like a standard fit. And eventually, they'll be able to like fit on ships as well. And then obviously a combination of is that a player? Right, we have come up with an idea, and we've got this bad boy out. For some reason I haven't got my character that should be available, but because we're in the PTU, that might be why I haven't got all my ships available. But yeah, jury's still out. I think the reclaimers there just to test out the salvage elements in the PTU and make sure everything's working okay on the ship. There is a hangar on this ship. Hopefully it's big enough for a vehicle. My theory is... I'm just going to get the elevator here. Put elevator down here. We're going to get a ship in there. So you can see it is absolutely huge. I was hoping to do a separate video on this, which we probably will do. Oh, I'm in here. Where's the controls? Cool. Yep. Very alien vibes. Oh, here we are. So these are all like kind of drone position. So you can put a ship inside. Here we are. Fly around here and land next to the Vulture. So I'm just going to interject here. My plan here was to land this and pick up a buggy, drive this out to a remote place, and then drive the buggy back to the Vulture to be able to sample some salvaging on my own ship. This did not happen, and I could not spawn any buggies or any vehicles in. And then I did fall through the planet as well when I land here, which you're about to see. So there's my Vulture down there. So it did not go to plan. Great PTU. But I'm actually recording this voiceover while I'm editing this at the same time, or the day after they've just released 3.19 on the PTU that I have access to. So that'll be probably my next video after the following one, which is going to be Star Trek versus Star Citizen. Just while my Star Trek video is kind of fresh, so we're going to flip between them. So the next video should be them comparing them two games together, them kind of worlds together, and then the one after will be, which will be very soon, which will be the 3.19 footage and talking about how good that is and all the new features come into it. So here's me trying to land very, very terribly here, but yeah, I'll pass it back to my past self now and enjoy. Versing. Oh my days. Where's that light coming from? Right there. Over here. Let me out. Whoa. No. Watch it. Oh my day. way we came in. This is the way we came in. And our survival is minus 76 degrees. We've got 70 survival time. Very cold in this planet. Our projectors are very cold planet. But I do. I don't think I need a breathing apparatus. On the cargo grid. Flight recorder. Right, we've got that. We're going to drop. What? Oh, this is awesome. Someone else has just turned up in it. I've gotten the right one up. I'm going to close that for now. Good. Offer up. No, I don't even have voices. I think I'm going to do that. Someone with a turned up next to me. What's the chance? All the planets, all the moons, all the systems. Obviously, it's the pot right now, so here we go. Oh my god! Whoa! Okay, yeah, P2 everyone, P2. Oh, and he's picked up a flight recorder as well, has he? Oh no, he's getting some. He's got another similar mission. That's pretty cool. Very nice. Right, we're going to go and drop this off now. Mining, go into this mode. This screen. Oh, well. Wait, it. Look. It's a nomad ship. Just so you guys can see. And you've got two different Max from the future here. Just adding some audio in after. For some reason, my mic was cutting in and out during this. I've realized recently I use NVIDIA broadcast software, and sometimes on my PC, sometimes too many programs open or something's happening, which is causing that to be the program that is stuttering or slowing down. The game felt fine, running smoothly, but I just thought I'd talk over some of this salvage gameplay, which looks really cool. You've got a braid and the cinch scraper. Apparently there's not too much difference. I can imagine they're going to make much more of a diverse nature regarding what is better. I'm going to guess one of the lasers, or shall I say scrapers, are going to be better for larger ships or smaller ships. So you'll probably switch between them depending on what kind of ship you're using or what angles you're going from and stuff like that maybe. But you see it's kind of like, it's like almost like a power simulator. And you're eating away at the kind of metal, the outer surface, you leave a hole underneath. It's gradually wearing down and regaining resources, the RMC, recycled material composite, and as you can see 0.64 out of 1 SCU in the top left above where we're salvaging here. So that goes up quicker, I noticed, on certain ships that I was salvaging as well, and also obviously a previously salvaged ship that I went back over that people missed parts of, it wouldn't go up as much of, whereas if it's a fresh kind of wreck, it seemed to accumulate much quicker. But it was definitely going up quicker on like this is a Cutlass. This is a sort of medium ship, I believe, in medium cargo, or depends obviously what variant you go for. I think it's medium, or if it's kind of sizing is small, it's not an extra small at the very least, or extra small. There's so many different categories of sizing of ships, it gets very confusing. Maybe I'll do that in a future video, break down kind of different sizes of ships, especially as I've got quite a diverse range in my I've got everything from a Carrack, which is one of the biggest ships in the game, to one of the starter ships, which is the Avenger Titan, so we can maybe compare them. But yeah, definitely a bigger ship than this extra small fighter that was doing at the start accumulates the material much quicker. But I think it's a really cool effect that it does on the screen. Just controlling the ship it took a little bit of mastering as such, but I definitely was, as you can see, the percentages as well, where I'm scanning over a hull. So a bigger ship with a fresh new like hull is going to probably fill that meter up much easier as well. But anyway, apologies for any of the mic dropping out in any of the previous clips or anything. Hopefully the footage has been really good for you. And yeah, we're going to end the video out now. I'll show you like a preview of me taking a screenshot for the video that I'll probably be using, and then we'll just finish the video up. But hopefully this has been a nice thorough, I say thorough look, it's definitely not been a thorough look, a nice brief look, should I say, at Salvage, and covering also a few other bits as well, talking about the scope of the game. But yeah, it's been fun to make. Sorry it took a while to get out. I'll be getting videos out much quicker from when I initially record them now, just the technique I use now going forward. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please leave comments below of your opinions, any questions or anything I got wrong or right or anything at all. Really appreciate it. And also, if you've got any recommendations of what kind of videos you think would be good to see or what you want to see my perspective on. Anyway, pass you over to the later part of the video, and then I'll close the video out. Why here? But what a... I feel like we can get zoom out a little bit. This is a behind the scenes shot of us getting that great screenshot. Awesome. Might go ahead and use another one, but screenshot simulator, this game so fun, and this is just the beginning of it, so it's cool to be involved with it this early on compared to what I think will be a long lifespan of a game. And it's still an alpha, let alone beta or full release, and all the other gameplay elements that will get released later on. I've just seen an extra part I can salvage there just hanging about, I think, so we'll give it a go. Anyway, much love to everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please consider hitting that subscribe button and follow me on my other platforms as well. I've got a Twitch channel, and Facebook is where I started at, but we'll be like streaming between them two sporadically. It might look at getting a more of a consistent schedule in the future, but I'm kind of concentrating on VOD content and clips generation and stuff like that, and kind of balancing it with my new job that I've had the last few months. So yeah, I appreciate any of the watches. My next video is probably going to be comparing Star Citizen to Star Trek. I had a really good video recently of Star Trek Online, going back to that. It's a 14-year-old game now. I played it when it first came out. I pre-ordered it and was in a fleet before it even came out, and was, because I'm a big Star Trek fan, and I think this game will benefit from learning from some parts of that game. They're going with a different kind of element of that. If you've not seen The Expanse, that'd be a great TV series for you to watch and get an idea of maybe what they're going to go with, like with the realism side of things in this game. And Star Trek, Star Wars, there's loads of different kind of references. Any, you know, at the end of the day, any sci-fi or anything like that is always going to have like cross-pollination in regards to references and inspiration as well. So let me know in the comments if you think there's a sci-fi series that they should use as an influence. And we've got a little Aegis Titan, half of it down here, that I own as well. Seems like all my like the skeletons of all the ships I own are here. So yeah, there's a free fly event on as well. Just to finish the video off, you can use my referral code. I'll put it in my link tree or put it in the description. If you do end up buying the game, when you create the account, you use my referral code or anyone else's you want to use, and you'll both get credit for it. And if you do decide to then buy the game then, or even at a later date, since you've used that referral code on your account, you kind of help both out. So if you've used my referral code, that will help me get some credits, and also we both get a referral ship if you do it during this free fly event. One of the free fly ships is the Nomad that I stripped over there. Obviously it looks much better when it's in fully working order. But yeah, there's that's on to the 20th of April. I'm away. Oh my days! Look at that, as a Mercury Star Runner, I believe. Beautiful looking ship. Thanks for coming in. Look at that. Even the thrust from his ship is blowing the debris around, like some of the wreckage around. That's cool. Just little things in this game. Any questions, please comment them below. Hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, follow me on other platforms. fb.gg/Tiberius streaming on the Facebook side, and twitch.tv/Max_Tiberius on the Twitch channel as well. And YouTube is, I believe, Max_Tiberius as well, or just Max Tiberius. But yeah, thanks for watching. Much love. Catch you on the next video. Peace out.